Welcome back, people. Glad you come back to the channel yet again. This one's all about EVs under £25,000 here in the UK. Obviously the US market is different, and hello there to my US and German viewers and the rest of the world. I know I've got quite a few subscribers now that are overseas, which is great. Welcome. I've done this on £25,000 or under, what I consider to be the best for range, for what you're going to get for your money. I've also thought about the safety angle, and there is a little click to one of these vehicles I've mentioned. When it comes to safety, you'll know what I'm talking about. I thought to myself, what could I buy that has got 200-mile range, near enough all year round, for under 25k? WLTP and what you get out of real driving is totally different, as we all know, because let's face it, none of us expect what the manufacturers say of what we're going to get for range. The range I'm talking about is real world driving. So some cars, you'll see that even with the smaller 50 kilowatt an hour battery, or 51 or 52 or around the area, they're giving you quotes of 238 miles of range. Well, to be honest, this is why none of the five I'm going to mention here have got Stellantis group cars involved, because I can't think of one Stellantis group car, i.e. like the 208e or the Vauxhall Mocha or any of that kind of vehicle that they produce, that could guarantee 200 mile even in the summer, which is a great shame, because I do believe Stellantis have got a good future in the EV world, but at the moment failing a bit on the range. Now I've left one out for obvious reasons, because it's like a sister car to one car I've mentioned, Hyundai, don't forget to say it correctly. Now, you can't call it Hyundai anymore, or Hyundai, it's Hyundai. The sister car to the one I've mentioned, the Kia, for example, will do the same range virtually as the one I've mentioned in this top five, which you'll see and you'll realise, and I will mention it. I hope you get some benefit out of it, and I hope it helps you pick what you want if you're looking at a used EV, especially if you need the range, because some of us out there, folks, will never ever need 200-mile range. Let's just put that out there, because I'm going to get some comments on this saying we all don't need it, and we don't. But if you want the range, this number one here will probably do it for you. Okay, first up, the Tesla. I own a Model 3. The Model 3 is not in this list of five. As you can see, this is the Model S. Out from 2013, the Model S now is a very affordable car. They all come super loaded, all the toys, a great 5-star NCAP rating for safety, even back in late 2013, early 2014. So if you're after something that's full size, carries 5 people in pure luxury, and will give you 200-mile range, pick the one you require. Be wary of the smaller battery ones. If you can go to the 85s and 90s, you'll pay a tiny bit more, but they are out there for less than 25. They may be high miles, and some of them will be Cat C, Cat D. Be careful and be wary of that. Anyway, be wary of what you're buying out there, folks, but if you want the range, this number one here will probably do it for you. Now, we all know there were some detailing problems with these early Teslas, bit of build quality issues maybe, but they've overcome them now. These early ones, though, expect a tiny bit of, let's say, trim being mislined, or the odd weather strip coming off that you might have to replace, but it's minor stuff. The underpinning of this thing was great. The batteries have been superb. In fact, they've even surprised Tesla, I believe. You will get that 200 mile out of it fully charged, even if you go for the smaller battery one. But just be wary that, you know, it is an aged Tesla. But try and get one with free supercharging. They are out there. That means that you'll never pay for any supercharge use. That's free power, free electricity for the length of the car. The second one I've gone for in this list, and again, this is not 1 to 5, this is just purely, there's no top 5 out of this. But I'm classing this as my number 2 on the list, and that would be the Hyundai. What I said before previously, the sister car to it is the Kia Niro, or Niro E, now it's called. Mini SUV, crossover, whatever you want to call it. Bags of space in it, will give you a guaranteed 200 mile even in the winter. They are now available for less than 25k. Do your homework, do a bit of research. I've looked at them many times, and I did fancy one before I bought my Model 3 as new, but I changed my mind and went for the Tesla. No regrets. But the Hyundai Kona is one to go and look at. Very reliable, unlike some of their hit and miss cars in the US at the moment when it comes to their fossil fuel cars. As their EVs are very, very good. I've not heard of one giving a bad degradation problem over the 5 or 6 years that they've been available, and I've never heard of one actually giving any mechanical problems whatsoever. Like I say, you're going to be guaranteed that 200 mile range out of the Hyundai out of the Hyundai Kona. It's a bit sparse inside in comparison to some other EVs, but you are paying under 25k. Again, the ID.3 comes with a 5-star NCAP rating for safety, and it's been tested in the US as well, and again got 5 stars across there. So wouldn't worry too much about the safety. These cars I'm trying to put in here have got 5. You know, I've gone for the best. It's very unusual for any EV not to get 5 now. To be fair, they're all passing very, very well. There is one on this list which is coming up. It's my next car, I think, on this list, which might shock you a bit, but again, don't be put off by it. But anyway, ID.3. Now the ID.3 came out about 2-3 years ago now. I believe it was 2020. And it came out with all this hooray about the first Volkswagen full electric car, blah, 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 this and that. To be fair, there was a few snags with it. The software wasn't great. There was a few software recalls. I have heard reports of it only doing about 185 in the winter. Will not be as good on range as, let's say, the Tesla, or even the Model S, or even the Hyundai Kona. Definitely not. And even the Kia Niro as well, the sister car to that. No way. So if you want 100% range, and that's all you're buying it for, because you don't want to, you know, you do a lot of commuting or whatever, then I wouldn't look at the ID.3. I'd be more inclined to go for them first 2 I mentioned. Okay, this next one is a little out there because on safety, it's got a bad rep. The Renault Zoe. The Zoe's been out a while, 22 kilowatt, then it went to the ZE40, now it's the 51, 52 kilowatt battery pack. The later one, the full facelift version, is the one I'm talking about here, not the earlier ones. The earlier ones had a 5-star NCAP rating, and the only thing that let this one down was the fact that they took out the side impact curtain, the bags, and because of that it dropped it down, and it didn't get a rating at all, I believe, with the Euro NCAP, because that was the only thing that really differed from the early one, which got 5 stars. It has put a few people off buying that vehicle. It wouldn't put me off buying it, but anyway, that's a personal choice. See if you can find a GT line, because they come more loaded up. You will 100% find them under 25k. I'm coming across ones now at 19, 20 grand, no problem whatsoever. And they will do 200 mile, maybe 230 in the summer and just over the 200 in the winter. Got a good battery management system around it. So yeah, check out the Renault Zoe if you want a small compact car that you'll probably get for far less than 25k, and it will do the 200 mile range. Okay, last but not least, and again, this is not the fifth. This could be my number one, but I know it isn't. I'll secretly tell you my number one at the end. The fifth one I bought into this scenario is the Nissan Leaf. Not the 24 kilowatt, not the 30 kilowatt, not the old shape one, the very latest. It is also the one with the biggest battery pack at 62 kilowatt hour. That is the one to go for. Now, it's going to drop in the winter because these things, this is the big one with the Nissan Leaf. There's two things that go against it. One is CHAdeMO. The CHAdeMO, or CHAdeMO as some people call it, the charging plug. It was brought over from Japan and it was going to be a world leader. Well, it's not. CCS and Type 2 plug are now the way to go. So there is far less chargers with the CHAdeMO plug to be used. If you've got a home charger, it's not an issue, obviously. And some, or I would say 80% still have the CHAdeMO plug one side and the regular CCS Type 2 plug the other, so you're covered. But it will start phasing out, I believe. Now, the only downer with the Nissan Leaf number 2, second downer, is the fact that it has no battery management system. It didn't when it came out in 2010, and it still hasn't got one now. That's how bad it is. It's a great shame because the bigger the battery, the hotter it's going to get. And in the summer, there was some battery gate going on when that first came out, 2019, late 18, early 19. So if you want the Nissan Leaf, you like the look of it and you want a bit of a dated interior, well under 25, how long that battery will last for in comparison to say the Kona or the Tesla even. I mean, that number one, that first Tesla I shown you there from 2014 to 2016, some of them suckers are still going now with 150,000 miles on the clock. Original battery pack, original motors. So that's the best 5 that I consider. And now it's time to tell you which one I'm going to go for. If I was to buy one now for 25 and under as a main car, I would go for the Tesla. Now, it's not because, I said it before, it's not because I own a Model 3, it's because of what you get for your money. That Tesla comes loaded with every single toy from 2014 and is still now probably more loaded with more tech than some brand new EVs are. So the Tesla Model S is the one to go for. Now, I've borderline 25. If you've got a couple of grand more, you're going to be guaranteed to get yourself maybe a 70 or an 85 battery pack in with the Model S. And that is the one to go for. The bigger, don't forget what I said, the bigger the battery pack, the better, and obviously the lower mileage. Be wary of ones that have had repairs. I personally wouldn't buy one, but that's just me. And there is a few out there on eBay that have had repairs. Has it affected the high voltage system? Has it affected the motors? It's a big gamble, folks, but that's entirely a personal thing. I wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't touch one. I want it 100% clear of any accidents whatsoever. But if you want a cheap 200-mile guaranteed car out of the 5 I've mentioned, it's got to be the Renault Zoe. Lots of choices out there, folks. And I've made this video purely because I get a lot of hassle on forums from naysayers and deniers and ICE drivers who say there is no market for a used EV. Well, we all know that's BS. The used market is very, very buoyant. More buoyant than diesels. Probably more buoyant than large petrol engine cars are now. So don't be put off buying a nice, clean, warranted, if you can still get the warranty on, because you will get warranty on some of these, by the way. Never mentioned that, did I? The later you buy, because the 8-year warranty still exists, or 100,000 miles. So that's something else you can take into consideration on the battery. But don't worry about degradation. You're going to get a bit, you know, even the best EVs degrade very slightly over many years. They don't just and stop. But again, there is one about EV degradation and batteries from my experience on the channel. It's there, look. Check that out. Please have a look at it. Well worth a look. If you're diving into a car under 25k used, that's worth a look. That might open your eyes a bit. Within 6 months, this post could be well out of date because the market is moving at such a fast rate. And you might find that now Tesla have brought the values down of their cars, you might find that my 25k will be under 20k. Who knows on the Model S, because obviously all prices have tumbled. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you've not already. I say it every time. Subscribing is going up, nearly that 1,000 now, so thank you very much if you've already subscribed. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Please come back, we'll do it all again.